The best occultists and magicians I ever encountered were not people compensating their personality or life ineptness in the occult and magic. They were people with solid frameworks of their own lives, international lawyers, great medical professors and doctors, mathematicians, statisticians. It doesn't say that all experts in their own field are busy with occult and metaphysics. Completely to the contrary. But the more robust your life's career and your settling in your expertise and your field, the more probable that you will have more success in the occult business. Not always, but a plenty. Now, what drives a professor of medicine towards the occult and metaphysics? Perhaps the will to round his existence as a human being. It is to separate sciences from learned magic. And as you noticed, I'm not talking about things I have absolutely no idea about. If I'm sick, I'm going to the doctor and rely on his expertise. If I want to know something about Roman law of the ancient times that I didn't study for the whole of my life, I go to a professor at the university and inquire whether my thought is right or whether it is only an ungrounded opinion. So as you see, the occult and magical and metaphysical business intersects plenty of disciplines, of sciences, of art. I do not want to discredit people who want to go into magic, but they have a mess in their life. But be sure that if you have a mess in your life and you are not completely, let's say, integrated as a person, you will invite trouble because magic is not a toy. The occult is not a toy. And sooner you will go insane or full of delusions, thinking that you're on the right path, rather than discerningly, analytically, systematically decide what may be true and what may be false, what may be right and what may be wrong. This is also a question of ethos, ethical raising. You do not want to damage either yourself or the societal fabric with magic or the occult, unless you are a self-defeating idiot or a self-defeating bitch. Because sooner or later, if you harm society, if you harm individuals, you are the one who will get the shrapnel also, if not on this side, then on the other side. Therefore, I would like to postulate that any form of true learned magic, true learned Scientia Occulta, is not to be an elitist gatekeeper, but it is belonging better to the educated, to the integrated, to the honest. Now, you may say that a privileged training is worth more, the traditional learning from master to disciple, from maestra to disciple. I was thrown in the deep waters of learning because I had to experience it. What saved me? Well, my skepticism and rationality, the remainders of it. And I had to rebuild myself through this near atheistic skepticism in order to understand the world better. Encountering supramundane anomalies, I had to order it. And minds that are capable of ordering this chaos are better prepared, or the upcow, to draw from this chaos and to develop very succinct, precise, magical tools to walk within it. Now, I will posit that Austin Osman Spare was right. That so-called folk magic throughout Europe mixed with Christianity was a degenerate form of priesthoods, male and female, from ancient past. There was plenty of superstition, there was plenty of mess in the process. And the Enlightenment tried to combat exactly that, superstition. The issue was not to completely ateize societies to whatsoever divinities. The purpose was to invite reason. Well, the project failed. So, without superstition, without flawed approaches, we may arrive at proportionally, rationally walking stances. Think of it as heuristics, optimal stances, not completely correct, not objectively true, but walking. And from this, we derive how to act. From this reason, from this ethos, from this integrity, we derive what is all right to perform. We may experiment, sometimes with very weird dimensions, sometimes with very dangerous forms of beings. Nevertheless, it is all grounded in a framework of reason. It must be. A modern magician or a Renaissance learned magician is a civilized shaman. Civilized meaning having the grammar and the tools of certain structures that are more civilized and with a different symbolic language than the wild man that traveled with his soul throughout the axis mundi to the underground, to the stars and so on. Think about Yggdrasil. So the framework is in place. We've become more civilized. We have different structures to operate with, different hermetica that emerged. The Yggdrasil is the same, but our minds comprehend it better, more precisely, philosophically, analytically, perhaps mathematically. And in such a way, we make it more precise. Does it make the shaman of the ancient times less effective? No. He had a different mindset. He was the avant-garde of a different current. So are we, perhaps more constricted in our abilities, but much more precise. Thank you.